It's so
Yeah,
awesome.
all
That's the
right.
music. Hey,
Yeah, we are the
lasers,
musical
lasers.
accompaniment. We are the band. We play both kinds of music, country and western. Welcome to a Thursday morning edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. I'm Marcus Grant with Greg Bergman and Parker Bell. Gentlemen, it feels like we just did this.
Yeah, it feels like I've heard this intro before. Weird, like an hour ago.
Like just it was not long ago. Thanks to everybody who showed up last night in our special edition, our post-game edition, which you can't hear again today, by the way. What's do we
Multiple
know?
times.
Multiple times. There you go. So you'll be able to hear that in case you missed it last night. You can hear it again. But if you didn't miss it and you wanted to hear it again, thanks for being here. Or if you didn't catch it at all and wanted to hear it for the first time, welcome.
Like Sherry. Sherry's in the chat. She missed it last night. She gets to hear it this morning.
Welcome.
So, welcome, Sherry.
Good to see you again, Sherry. The Dodgers move on to the National League Division Series. They will take on the Philadelphia Phillies. They did it on Wednesday night by way of an 8-4 win. We will get into the particulars of that. We'll also start looking ahead to the Phillies series. And of course, for the next couple of days, look, there's no actual baseball. So we're down to interact with you even more than we normally do. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll try to get to as many of them as we can over the course of the next couple of days, because we got time to kill until the Dodgers play baseball again. But before any of that, I want to give a thanks to LAX. As always, transforming the travel experience. They are saving guests time. If you would like more information, you can go on the interwebs to flylax.com/transforminglAX. So let's recap last night. 8-4, the final score. And Greg, for most of the night, the story, as it has been a lot of times this year, Yoshinobu Yamamoto just being nails on the mound when the Dodgers needed him.
Yep, always is. And I've had this stuck in my head for quite some time now.
Yamamoto, Yoshinobu.
I got to put that song back out into Twitter just so people don't understand what I'm saying. We play it on Sedano and Cap morning show all the time, but it is now embedded into my brain for a long time. Like literally, I woke up in the morning singing it, and it's never going away. But Yamamoto was absolutely fantastic. It's everything that you want to. He gave up the 2 runs in the first inning because Teo literally dropped the ball. And
just butchered one out and right. Yeah.
He was right underneath it, would have ended the inning. It dropped, 2-run score, and then he has to throw 12 more pitches. So he could have probably gone even longer if he needed to. So that comes into play a little bit later, Marcus Parker, that with those 12 pitches made it so that he could possibly have gone into the 8th. Who knows? Because he was at 113 pitches, so I don't know. But either way, Yamamoto was just dealing the entire night because he was just completely held off balance, and he is our ace. I mean, there's no other way to put it that Yoshinobu Yamamoto is the ace of this staff, and there's not one person on this staff, not even Snell or Ohtani or anybody. The bases are loaded and nobody is out. I want that guy on the mound.
I mean, yeah, he was lights out, and in that situation, he has 2 hits to the outfield, and then just a high chopper that Muncy has to put in his pocket because he didn't have a play on. Comes back, gets a 1-hop line drive ground ball to Mookie, who throws home to get the first out, then a strikeout, and then L.A. De La Cruz just turned him in knots with that curveball.
All series. Oof.
Yeah. It was a rough couple days for Ellie for sure. But Yamamoto deals 6 2/3 innings before giving way to Blake Trinan, who comes in and gets the final out with very little issue. So, by the way, that's back-to-back okay outings for Blake Trinan. Yeah. So that's a positive for sure. But Parker, the other part of the story last night, second night in a row, the offense shows up in a big way. They put up 8 runs last night. And once again, Mookie Betts kind of at the center of things for the Dodgers.
Mookie Betts, our pick for just playoffs overall MVP. And he's starting off hot. Of course, he went 6 for 9 just these 2 games. And, that's not really a small sample size. He came out here and cooked the Reds. And I'm excited to see what he's got against the Phillies because Mookie's going to set the tone. Obviously, Shohei set the tone with a couple of those dingers during this series, but it's just great to have back-to-back superstars who follow each other and just follow each other's, honestly, greatness. And yeah, yesterday was just overall the lineup from like we said last night in the post game, from Shohei all the way to Rortvet. Everybody was just doing what they had to do to get runs across, and the Dodgers are poised to really make a run. It's going to be a tough series against Phillies, and we're going to preview it later. But yeah, I just want to give shout outs to all the guys in the lineup, all the way from Kike, who I know Teo had a fielding blunder, but Senor October, he started off the game with an amazing catch that left, coming over towards Pages. Honestly, I think in any other team, that might be the center fielder's ball, but it was close. It was in between, but I'm happy that Kike is really setting the tone defensively as well.
I didn't know who was going to get that ball. I actually thought that ball was gonna drop and end up as a double at least. And Kike just kind of throws his glove up there, and somehow the ball lands it. I said this last night. I mean, Keektober is a real thing. He is just living right. He has that play to start the game. He gets a couple of hits, including a roller that just hugs the line and hits the bag as an infield single. We'll forget the little chop at the ball he had. Was it the eighth inning, seventh, eighth inning, whatever it was?
Went right underneath him. Yeah.
Went right underneath his glove. We'll look the other way for the time being on that, just because he did so much last night. But Kike Hernandez, Senor Octubre, is a.
I mean, it's not even like scientific at this point. I think he has some sort of other other power that just wakes up.
It's crazy. Like there's not. I don't really fully believe in that. Like, oh, you can just flip a switch and then all of a sudden you're great in certain moments. But he's changes. He fully changes once it hit October. For some reason, he's like, "Oh yeah, I play baseball now." The other 6 months, I don't really do it. Here and there, I'll play, but in October, I'm fully locked in. It's great to see, but I don't understand why it happens at all.
It's an enigma, but it's just crazy to watch the TV broadcast, Greg, and it's like Babe Ruth, Alex Rodriguez, Kike
Hernandez.
I mean, they showed the graphic last night of players who have the biggest jump in OPS from the regular season to the postseason, and it was like Carlos Beltran, Kike Hernandez, and George Brett.
Yeah,
it was like,
how do you get on that list?
What? How do you get on that list? Apparently, he does. Yeah, I mean, so just like add him to the list of athletes who are, as the kids would say, mid during the regular season. I mean, like Robert Ory is a guy who pops to mind, right?
Yeah.
The guy who was just like, he was fine during the regular season, but Big Shot Bob showed up all the time in the playoffs. So Kike Hernandez is sort of swimming in those waters right now. Parker mentioned Rortvet, and Rortvet, man. I mean, like, just finding ways to get on base, finding ways to make things happen, being in the center of things. And I mean, Greg, the way he's playing and the fact that hopefully Will Smith is getting healthier and ready to go. We said this last night. I mean, Dalton Rushing sort of feels like a luxury on this roster with them carrying three catchers right now.
Yeah, absolutely does. Look, Benny Biceps, the way that Joe Davis calls him, is just really he's just like Kike a little bit, where he's getting a little bit lucky in some senses. Like no matter what he does, he finds a way either onto base or do what he needs to do. The fact he does rule number one, like we said last night, rule number one: if you're in that 9 spot, do not hit into a double play with Shohei Ohtani coming behind you. And he didn't. He bunted up the first base side, which is not an easy place to bunt up.
No.
He bunts up the first base side and just finds a way to move guys over and get Shohei up to the plate. It's everything that you want from him. And he calls the pitching staff, well, let's just say he calls the starters really, really well. I'm still not sure.
No one has figured out how to call the bullpen yet.
I don't know if it's him or if it's the bullpen just in general, but yeah, it once the bullpen comes in, boop, but I don't want us to do that just yet. We got plenty of time to get upset all over again on that.
Yeah, we can wait on that.
But Benny Biceps, love the dude, man. He's just really, really stepped up, and he has stepped up. So we're gonna keep seeing him until Will Smith is healthy, and he did everything he needed to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, he's sacrificed when they've asked him to. I mean, in an age where you don't see guys bunt a lot, we've seen a lot of of Ben Rortvedt squaring around a bunt and has done a good job with it. And then every once in a while he'll swing the bat and line a double down the left field line or something like that. So Ben Rortvedt has absolutely earned his place in this lineup for sure. We talked about Mookie and how well he is hitting. Even Teo, obviously he had the big error in the first inning, but I mean, Parker Teo's bat has shown up. The 2 home runs last night, a big 2-run double, or the 2 home runs on Monday or Tuesday night. I'll get it right. And then the 2-run double.
It was an early turnaround. We're good.
Yeah, exactly. But Teo's bat is showing up too, and having Teo, having Muncy, although he was up and down in the series, but having those guys makes this lineup as terrifying as it can be.
Terrifying is probably the best way to describe this lineup. You think you're done? No, you got to face the home run champ, last year's home run champ, Teoscar, and then it's like, oh no, I'm done. And then no, Andy Pages, who had one of his better first half of the season. So there's no time to rest. Early in the season, sure, there were moments where, and I think Kike might have said this last night, actually, where they checked out during the regular season. This team in the playoffs, terrifying. I can't even think of another word to put it. When you're looking at this lineup, when they're locked in, I mean, Shohei, the Hunter Green home run, he was like, oh, you have pitch calm issues? I don't care. I'm locked in and I'm swinging the hardest I can swing. It's just, this team is different in the playoffs. And I mean, I see the chat kind of talking through this lineup and how dangerous they are, even all the way down again to Rortvedt, who we've mentioned multiple times. But I'm happy to see Teo succeeding. I know he's had some ups and downs this season in terms of defensively and some issues here and there. But if that bat is speaking for itself, then honestly, sometimes that's all that matters. You made an error, but you made up for it, Teo.
Yeah.
I love what he did there, Marcus. I love what he did afterwards. Or he went over and he gave Yoshino Yamamoto a hug, being like, I'm sorry, that's on me. And then it took 3 tries, but he did make up for getting the 2 runs in. I was really hoping it was going to happen immediately, but either way, he got it done when he needed to, and he has been good so far in these first 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, and look, I think what we've seen from Teo is sort of, what we'll see from him throughout the postseason, in that, they're going to have him in the lineup because you do need his bat, right? And you just need him to be good enough out in the outfield. But we also saw in late game situations, we're going to see other guys in there. We saw Justin Dean play both nights in that series, although I think some of that was just, hey, man, we just want to get you some playoff innings or something like that. But I do think we're going to see, in the late innings, whether it's, Pages moving to right, Alex Call coming in, some variation of that, I think, is what's going to happen, because I don't think that you want Teoscar Hernandez out there in the 8th, 9th inning in a potentially close game. So I think that's going to continue to sort of be the standard here. Look, I know we have a whole nother day, so we can sort of dive into what we think the DS roster is going to be.
A lot of Conforto questions in the chat.
A lot of Conforto questions. That's why I sort of brought this up. A lot of Conforto questions, because he was not on the roster for this series. I mean, Parker, do we see him? Because look, I think we're all agree. Michael Conforto is not going to be a Dodger next year. Will he be? Will he be on a play?
Up. And part 2 of the Blue Review is up, Marcus.
And we are up for part 2. Okay, we'll finish this out. So we were talking about Michael Conforto before technology came in and kneecapped us here. Was not on the Wildcard roster. We know he's not coming back next year, right? It was a 1-year deal. Things went badly. As much as Dave Roberts tried to help him along and be encouraging, there's just no real argument to bring Conforto back. But the question is, Parker, have we seen the last of him? Will he be on the DS roster, or are Confuego's days as a Dodger officially over?
The Confuego days, I hope they're over. I don't mean any ill will, obviously, towards Conforto, but I think that he was strictly a matchup scenario in the regular season. And of course, there were injuries throughout this team, riddled this team. And now that you're in the playoffs, I'd rather have a third catcher on the team than Conforto. And I like that they kind of brought up a defensive specialist in Dean, just to have there, and you have some guys like him there for legs. You don't need Conforto.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's sort of it, right? I mean, he's not a good enough defender that you're going to use him. I think that's going to be the Alex Call role, that he's going to be kind of a late inning defensive replacement. And again, he's not giving you enough at the plate that you are just going to, you don't need him getting 3 to 4 at bats a game. I guess best case scenario is that he would be a matchup guy, against right-handed relievers, but you've got other options for that too. So I just don't think there's really a space for Michael Conforto on the roster going forward. So it could be that, hey, thank you for your service. We'll take it from here for Michael Conforto.
That's pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Since we are going down the rabbit hole of things that make us unhappy with this team, with less than 10 minutes left, I think it's time to get into the bullpen. I see Greg getting ready to just let out a deep sigh right now. 2 nights in a row, the bullpen, specifically the 8th inning guys in the bullpen, were a mess. Parker, I think you said last night 100 pitches combined in 2 8th innings for the Dodgers. Yamamoto got, let me do the math real here, 20 outs on like 113 pitches. The Dodgers in the 8th inning have gotten 6 outs on 100 pitches. Greg, the math isn't mathing. I don't know what to do, though, because at this point, I don't even know who to. Yesterday it was Emmett Sheehan. That was the guy that we wanted, and it went sideways. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah, no, I don't know what to do either. Something is like making noises in my house, so that's kind of creepy. But either way, okay, what's happening? That's very creepy. Either way, sorry, I'm actually kind of freaked out a little bit. Anyway, weird. Either way, the bullpen. Let me figure something out. The bullpen is. So I was very much on part of the BPP, the piggyback plan, all that thing. That was all something that I was very heavy on. I talked about it on multiple shows, on here 1,000 times, all the different ways. And Emmett Sheehan did not come out and was not acceptable in those moments. He was not able to do what he had to do in that moment. So the moment was too big for him at the moment. Now, do I think that he can figure it out and be better the next time? Sure, absolutely. I think that he has all of that, has full opportunities to go out there and do it again. They're going to put him out there again because they need Emmett Sheehan. Hopefully that was just that one time, and Dave Roberts pulled him, as I think most people now truly believe that was the best time for him to come out. The 1-2 count in the middle of a spot, you really only needed one pitch, but he would almost just hit the batter. It was I can't think of his name at the moment.
Was it Benson?
Yeah, Benson. Will Benson. He almost hit Will Benson. It was like, look, man, if you put him on bases loaded, now we're in a completely different situation. So Dave coming out and doing what a manager should do and got him and pulled him. He shouldn't be afraid to pull in those certain situations and not let him go. Don't let him leave with giving up all the runs and giving up the lead. Take him out there, have Vesia come in, get lucky on that high pitch. So, but I do trust that Emmett Sheehan will